Hey, I'm George from MovieWeb. How are you doing, Josh?
Hey George, I'm good, man. How are you?
Great. Um, the action in this is fun. That's the big part of it. Obviously, it's funny, and I'm curious what you can tell us about the demands physically, but also kind of
Yeah.
some of the innovations and the humor that you guys bring to it because it's different. It's got its own flavor.
Oh, 100%. Flavor is what we were after, really. The tone of it was the most important thing to us. Like, I always wanted to do something where I did my own stunts. I've been able to do it one other time in my career. Um, it was a movie called Bunraku. It was I was 29 years old, and when they asked me to do this, and the conceit of it is that the actor does his own stunts, I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm 44, 45 at the time." I was like, this is gonna be different." And and yet we knew that really, if we didn't make the audience laugh and make the audience feel something, uh, put the character in enough jeopardy that you weren't sure if he was going to succeed, and maybe even make the character so bizarre that you didn't know if you wanted him to succeed, it was going to be a that was the main goal. And so the action became, as far as the prep goes, secondary, but that allowed me to kind of enjoy the action more and not put so much pressure on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like going into a game that I knew was going to be really tough as like a basketball player, but not really thinking about the opponent, knowing I had so much other stuff to think about that it just kind of took care of itself. And the reason that it was allowed to do that was that we had an amazing stunt team. We had this crazy group of people that was willing to kind of go wild within this tiny space. And because the space was so small as well, it kind of it lent itself to invention. And so the action sequences are just different than you usually see. Um, and yeah, so it was all together. We just got very lucky with all the people that we had hired. It all just kind of worked together. We all worked together really well, and uh, and I love the result. I think the result is awesome. I'm very proud of this film.
Yeah, you really disappear into this guy, and he's
Oh, thank
interesting to
you.
watch, and it's fun to watch him kind of explore these moments. And you invent, talking to James, you invented a lot of these kind of humorous moments that popped up. I'm
Oh yeah,
curious what it was like. You recently, not recently, but a couple of years ago, Oppenheimer, working with
yeah.
Christopher Nolan. It's such a different experience, but also I imagine very demanding. And I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious to hear you talk a little bit about that and what you took from it um, and how it maybe changed your trajectory a little bit.
Well, I mean, like, what really happened, what really changed my trajectory is that I had a third child and we went into lockdown. And I was like, oh, might not be able to make movies anymore. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the world. And so I started calling directors that I knew, or had my agents call directors that I knew and said, do you want Josh in anything? And I started work. I did a couple of films with Guy Ritchie, and a film with Chris, and a couple other, like the Black Mirror episode and things like that. Just started working with people that I always wanted to work with. I didn't realize, I think earlier in my career, just earlier in my life, that it was that half of making films is about creating relationships, or even calling people and just telling them how much you appreciate their work, and that they might respond to that and ask you to be a part of their film. Like, it was very naive of me to think that, like, the world was going to come to me, but I was also very happy, before having so many children, to be making more experimental films and not making any money off of them. But then having a lot of kids, I was like, oh, well, maybe I need to make a living at this too. And what if, we do have another pandemic and I can't ever make a film again? What do I want to do? And so recently, I've just been incredibly lucky to be able to go along and work with these fantastic directors and have these films be seen by people. And in this situation, again, it's sort of my instinct to go work with first-time filmmakers, because I love invention. I love seeing someone coming up with their style, and I love being a part of it. The opportunity to both kind of sink or swim, and knowing that James had all this talent, but like, who knew if he had it in him to make something with this tone? I felt he did, and I luckily was vindicated. I was right. Like, I think this is an amazing first film. I think it's an amazing film first, full stop. But for a first film, it's extraordinary. And
Yeah.
and so the gambler in me took another roll of the dice with this one, and I think it
I've
really
run
paid
out of
off.
time, but I love your approach and I love that story and how honest and personal it is. And thanks for doing this and great job, man. Thank you
Thanks a
again.
lot. Appreciate it.